recap for the week that just ended. The first thing we're going to start with is the Falun Gong Protection Act. And you're probably saying, what the heck is that and why should I care? Well, it imposes sanctions on the Communist Party of China for forced organ harvesting. And that's exactly what it is. If it sounds bad, it's because it is bad. They literally take the organs away from people, live, healthy people, and sell them. By the way, there is no, in America, if you're on the list for a transplant for a kidney or a heart, you're on a list, right? Because they have to match you to somebody, have to wait until one becomes available. There is no waiting list in China. And you can imagine why, is because when they need something, they just go get it, and they take it from a certain group of religious practitioners named the Falun Gong. And I've just reintroduced the bill to impose the sanctions on the Communist Party of China because we do business with China. We buy a bunch of products from China, and we're essentially saying by doing so that it's okay to deal with somebody that kills people for their organs to sell to other people, which is barbaric. So that's why I think it should be important to you. That's why I think you should know about it. We reintroduced this. We've done it in multiple Congresses in the past, and so that's what's going on there. In the House Oversight, we had a hearing on government waste. And I don't know whether you know this or not, you're being forced to pay $2 billion as an American taxpayer annually, $2 billion to fund vacant buildings. Even in the best of scenarios, when we did the survey, or the Government Accountability Office did the survey, the best we could come up with was 49% occupancy. That means over 50% of the building remained vacant. And so we had a hearing where that was discussed, and I asked, I'm the subcommittee chairman in another committee dealing with federal buildings, and we had the Inspector General in and discuss this kind of stuff so that we really have an idea about the waste that is happening over decades that you're paying for, and how to resolve it now that we have an administration that's willing to do it. You might see clips of that online somewhere. And then finally, we passed the budget resolution. Now, there's going to be a lot of news about this, and quite honestly, my opponents are going to give or offer a bunch of misleading information. What this is the first step in the process to figure out how we're going to fund the government. It's the first step. So they're going to say, oh, well, they defunded things like Social Security, like Medicaid, like Medicare. 0% of any of that is true. This is just a strict structural framework about how to get started. It is the first step. And as a matter of example, Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security are not mentioned in the bill, not ever, not one time, not ever, because they're not in the bill. And so this is just the first step in the process where we see how far we can get, and it lays out kind of the parameters for it. I did vote for it because we got to figure out how to fund our government, but we got to figure out how to square the fact that we're spending $2 trillion more every single year than we take in revenue, right? We got to figure that out. So this was the first step in the process, but there's nothing definitive in it about any cuts to any agencies whatsoever. So that's the news on that. So regardless of what you're hearing online or from opponents or what have you, you're hearing from me. The truth is this is a framework bill. It's a first step and doesn't enumerate any cuts to Medicare or Medicaid or Social Security, and we'll see what happens moving forward from here. So that's the update or the recap. I hope you have a great week. Thank you.